My friends, listen carefully. The difference between those who live an average life and those who rise to the highest level is not found in talent, not in background, not even in opportunity. It is found in mindset. The mindset of high achievers is a fire that burns within them. It is a vision that refuses to die, a belief that will not bend under pressure, and a faith that sees victory long before it arrives. High achievers do not wait for the world to give them permission to succeed. They decide, they believe, and they act until it becomes reality. A high achiever understands that success begins in the unseen realm of the mind. Every great victory starts as a seed of thought. The world you live in today is the fruit of the thoughts you planted yesterday. So if you want to change your world, change your thinking. You cannot think small and live big. You cannot feed your mind with fear and expect to walk in faith. You cannot meditate on defeat and expect to experience victory. A high achiever fills the mind with possibility, with gratitude, with unstoppable determination. Their mind is a garden carefully cultivated with words of life, faith, and courage. When challenges come, and they always come, the mindset of a high achiever is not shaken. Where others see obstacles, they see opportunity. Where others see endings, they see new beginnings. They are not victims of circumstances, they are architects of destiny. Even when everything seems against them, they do not cry over what they have lost. They focus on what they still possess. They believe that every storm carries a lesson, every delay hides a blessing, and every setback is only a setup for a greater comeback. This is the power of a resilient mindset. High achievers discipline their minds to think on purpose. They know the mind can be a battlefield, filled with doubt, fear, and negativity. But they refuse to surrender. They guard their thoughts like soldiers guarding a fortress. They speak words of victory even when they feel weak. They declare, I can, I will, and I must. They do not allow toxic voices or negative opinions to plant roots in their hearts. They silence the inner critic and feed the inner champion, because they know that if they win in their mind, they will win in life. A high achiever's mindset is focused and intentional. They do not drift with the crowd. They live with direction. They set clear goals and pursue them with relentless energy. They rise early, think deeply, and work diligently. They refuse to settle for mediocrity because they are driven by purpose, not comfort. They know that greatness is born in the place of sacrifice. They are willing to do what others will not do, so they can experience what others will never have. Their minds are anchored on vision, their hearts are filled with passion, and their hands move with discipline. Above all, high achievers live with an unshakable belief that they are destined for more. This belief is not arrogance. It is faith. They believe they are created to make an impact, to serve others, and to leave a mark on this world. They are not distracted by the noise of failure or the whispers of fear. They fix their eyes on the goal and press forward with faith-filled persistence. When others quit, they continue. When others doubt, they declare. When others rest, they rise again. So, my friend, if you want to live like a high achiever, begin with your mind. Renew your thoughts daily. Speak life over your dreams. Surround yourself with faith, discipline, and vision. Refuse to think like the crowd. The journey begins within you, because when your mindset rises, your life will follow. Success begins in the mind before it appears in life. Everything you see in the physical world first existed in someone's imagination. Every building, every invention, every achievement started as a thought, a picture, a vision inside a person's mind. The mind is the womb of destiny, and whatever you continually conceive within it will eventually manifest in your reality. High achievers understand that the mind is the greatest creative power they possess. Before they ever step into success, they live it internally. They think it, they see it, they feel it, and they believe it until it becomes part of who they are. That's why their actions carry conviction and their words carry power. They don't act by accident, they act by intention, because they have already succeeded in their minds long before the world can see it. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant, whether thoughts of success or failure, will take root and grow. Most people allow weeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity to dominate their thinking. They feed their minds with negativity, with the words of defeat, with the limitations of others, and then wonder why they remain stuck. But high achievers are gardeners of their minds. They pull out the weeds daily. They refuse to entertain thoughts that shrink their faith or weaken their courage. Instead, they plant seeds of possibility, belief, and confidence. They meditate on growth, on opportunity, on abundance, until those thoughts become their natural atmosphere. Every victory begins as an inner decision. When your mind decides that something is possible, your actions begin to align with that belief. Your energy changes, your posture changes, your speech changes. You begin to attract the right people, the right ideas, and the right doors of opportunity. Success is not luck. It is a mental alignment with purpose. When you think like a winner, you begin to act like one, and soon the world responds accordingly. That is why high achievers guard their minds as their most valuable possession. They know if they can control their thoughts, they can control their destiny. The greatest limitation in life is not the lack of resources, but the lack of vision. A person with the right mindset can create opportunities even in the midst of scarcity. They can see paths where others see walls. They can find light in the darkest situations. The difference lies in perception. When your mind is trained to focus on possibility, you stop being a victim of conditions and start becoming a creator of outcomes. The moment you renew your mind, you renew your world. The moment you lift your thoughts higher, your circumstances begin to follow. High achievers spend time feeding their minds with excellence. They read, they listen, they study, they pray, they visualize. They surround themselves with inspiration that stretches their thinking and challenges their comfort zones. They understand that success is not something you chase, it's something you become. You don't run after success, you grow into it by expanding your mind. Every breakthrough begins with a shift in thinking. Once your mind breaks free, your life will too. Every time you think, you are creating your future. If your thoughts are filled with fear, you will live in limitation. If your thoughts are filled with faith, you will live in victory. The mind has the power to build or destroy, to elevate or imprison. That is why the battlefield of success is not outside, it is within. The moment you win the war in your mind, the rest of life begins to fall into place. High achievers know that the secret to lasting success is not found in chance, but in mastering the inner world where every outcome begins. ChatGPT said, "A high achiever sees opportunity where others see obstacles." This mindset is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the dreamers from the doors, and the hopeful from the unstoppable. When most people face challenges, they retreat, complain, or surrender to fear. But high achievers look at the same challenges and see doors disguised as difficulties. They understand that problems are not punishments, they are invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. They know that every obstacle carries within it the seed of an opportunity, if only one is willing to look deep enough. When setbacks come, high achievers refuse to panic or lose their focus. They have trained their minds to respond with faith instead of fear. They ask, "What can I learn from this? What new skill can I develop through this challenge? How can I turn this situation to my advantage?" They refuse to be blinded by the appearance of difficulty. Instead, they fix their eyes on the hidden potential that lies beneath the surface. To them, obstacles are stepping stones, not stop signs. They know that adversity is not meant to break them, but to build the resilience that success requires. A high achiever sees what others miss because their mindset is tuned to growth. Where others see loss, they see lessons. Where others see delay, they see preparation. They view resistance as a necessary part of transformation. Just as pressure turns coal into diamonds, they understand that pressure refines purpose. Instead of complaining about the weight they carry, they use it to strengthen their character and sharpen their vision. They believe that life's challenges are not random. They are part of a divine process designed to develop greatness within them. This kind of vision comes from inner discipline. High achievers don't allow their emotions to dictate their perspective. They may feel pain, frustration, or disappointment, but they don't stay there. They quickly shift their focus back to possibility. They speak to themselves with faith-filled words. They remind themselves that no situation is permanent and that every setback has an expiration date. They choose to believe that something good can still come out of something hard. That inner belief gives them the power to keep moving when others stop. High achievers also see opportunities to serve where others see inconvenience. When others complain about problems, they ask how they can provide solutions. This mindset makes them leaders, innovators, and problem solvers. They understand that every great success story begins with someone solving a problem that others ignored or ran from. They don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They create progress right in the middle of imperfection. They take what they have, start where they are, and make the most of it. That is why even in seasons of crisis, they continue to rise. They see what others refuse to see. When the crowd is filled with fear, a high achiever walks by faith. When people talk about impossibility, they talk about strategy. When others focus on the mountain, they focus on how to climb it. They see possibilities in limitations, clarity in confusion, and hope in the middle of hardship. Their ability to interpret adversity differently becomes their greatest strength. The same fire that burns others fuels them. The same storm that discourages others drives them forward. This mindset is what gives high achievers their edge in life. They do not wait for opportunity. They create it. They understand that the difference between failure and growth is perceptions. The moment you start seeing obstacles as opportunities for advancement, you begin to unlock the hidden treasures that hardship conceals. The mind that can see beyond the problem will always find a way through it. Discipline in thought creates excellence in action. The greatest victories in life are not won by emotion or talent alone, but by the steady power of disciplined thinking. Every thought you allow into your mind shapes the direction of your actions, and every action creates the future you experience. High achievers understand that before they can master their work, they must first master their minds. They do not allow random or negative thoughts to dictate their behavior. Instead, they train their thinking like an athlete trains their body. They practice focus, they strengthen consistency, and they eliminate distractions that weaken their purpose. A disciplined mind is a powerful force. It doesn't wander aimlessly or get lost in fear, doubt, or comparison. It knows where it's going and why it's going there. High achievers guard their mental space with vigilance. They choose what to think about, what to believe, and what to ignore. They do not feed their minds with noise, gossip, or negativity. They fill their inner world with ideas that align with their goals, with words that strengthen their faith, and with thoughts that elevate their standards. They know that whatever occupies their mind eventually controls their destiny. When thoughts are disciplined, actions naturally follow with precision and excellence. A person who trains their mind to think with clarity will act with confidence. They don't waste time on excuses or self-doubt. They make decisions quickly because their thinking has been prepared through focus and purpose. High achievers do not depend on fleeting motivation. They depend on mental discipline. They understand that motivation may get you started, but discipline keeps you going when feelings fade. Every great dream demands a mind that is steady, focused, and obedient to its purpose. Discipline in thought also means mastering your emotions. High achievers feel fear, frustration, and fatigue like anyone else, but they refuse to let those feelings dictate their path. They have trained their minds to rise above temporary emotions and stay committed to long-term goals. When others quit because it's uncomfortable, they continue because their thoughts remind them of the bigger picture. They have taught their minds to say, "Keep going," even when everything around them says, "Stop." This mental strength becomes their greatest weapon in the journey toward excellence. Discipline requires awareness. You must constantly observe your thoughts and correct them when they drift from truth and purpose. You cannot allow self-pity or negativity to stay in your mind rent-free. A disciplined thinker immediately replaces destructive thoughts with empowering ones. They understand that thinking is like breathing. it must be intentional. They do not let external noise influence their internal peace. When problems arise, they pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom rather than reaction. This calm, deliberate way of thinking gives them control in moments when others lose balance. High achievers know that excellence is not an accident, it is the natural outcome of disciplined thought. When your mind is trained to think with excellence, your actions will reflect excellence. You begin to speak with clarity, work with precision, and lead with integrity. You stop doing things halfway and start giving your best to everything you touch. Discipline in thought turns potential into performance, and potential without discipline remains a dream unrealized. Every day, your mind is choosing between focus and distraction, between fear and faith, between purpose and comfort. The quality of those choices determines the quality of your future. High achievers have decided that no matter how hard it becomes, they will keep their minds aligned with their mission. They don't let circumstances dictate their mindset. They let their mindset dictate their circumstances. That's why they continue to move forward while others remain stuck. They have learned the secret of turning mental discipline into a lifestyle of excellence. Faith-driven vision turns impossibility into reality. Every great achievement in history began with someone who dared to see beyond what existed. While the world saw limits, they saw potential. While others said, "It can't be done," they said, "Watch me." This is the mindset of high achievers. They live guided by vision, fueled by faith, and anchored by purpose. They understand that sight shows you what is, but vision reveals what can be. They look beyond circumstances, beyond statistics, beyond opinions, and they choose to believe in the unseen possibility that faith whispers to their hearts. Faith-driven vision does not rely on visible evidence. It starts in the heart long before it shows up in the world. High achievers carry within them a picture of what could be, even when everything around them contradicts it. They believe in the power of imagination, guided by faith. Their vision is not just a dream, it is a conviction. It lives so deeply within them that no failure can erase it. When people doubt them, they remain steady. When progress seems slow, they keep moving. Their confidence comes not from what they see, but from what they believe. Faith gives their vision life, strength, and endurance. This kind of vision transforms obstacles into stepping stones. A person driven by faith does not see impossibility as a wall, but as a challenge waiting to be conquered. They believe that if something has been placed in their heart, then a way to accomplish it already exists. They know that their vision will attract the right opportunities, resources, and connections at the right time. Instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, they act with the belief that every step forward will reveal the next. This unwavering trust in the process is what sets them apart. Faith-driven vision also ignites creativity. When your mind believes that all things are possible, it begins to think in new ways. You stop asking, "Can it be done?" and start asking, "How can it be done?" This shift opens doors that fear keeps closed. High achievers allow faith to expand their imagination. They envision solutions where others see confusion. They design new paths where none existed before. Their faith acts like a light in darkness, showing them possibilities invisible to the fearful mind. When challenges arise, faith-driven individuals don't collapse, they stand taller. They remind themselves that vision requires patience and perseverance. The journey from dream to reality often passes through seasons of delay, disappointment, and difficulty. But faith gives them endurance. They don't lose hope when results take time, because they know that delay is not denial. They hold on to their vision even when others let go, because their faith tells them the end will be worth the struggle. This inner strength becomes the foundation on which they build everything. High achievers also understand that faith-driven vision is contagious. It inspires those around them. People may not believe at first, but when they see the fire in your eyes and the conviction in your actions, they begin to believe too. Vision backed by faith has magnetic power. It draws people, resources, and energy toward its fulfillment. When a person walks with faith, they radiate confidence. Their courage influences others to dream bigger and rise higher. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every great transformation began with one person who chose to believe when others doubted. Faith-driven vision refuses to be limited by the present. It lives in the future and works backward to make it real. It is not arrogance but divine confidence, the assurance that what you carry inside you is meant to manifest in time. High achievers keep that inner picture alive every day. They feed it with positive words, bold actions, and unwavering faith. They know that if they can see it in their hearts, they will one day see it with their eyes. The right mindset transforms challenges into stepping stones. Every obstacle you face in life holds the potential to elevate you if you choose to see it correctly. The difference between those who grow and those who give up is not the size of their challenges, but the strength of their perspective. High achievers have trained their minds to interpret adversity differently. Where others see an ending, they see the beginning of a new chapter. Where others see pain, they see preparation. They understand that challenges are not meant to destroy them, but to develop the qualities needed for greatness. The right mindset doesn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What is this trying to teach me?" When difficulties come, most people focus on what they've lost. High achievers, however, focus on what they can gain. They know that growth rarely comes through comfort. The very things that stretch you, test you, and frustrate you are the same things that shape you into the person capable of carrying your next level of success. Instead of allowing challenges to paralyze them, they allow them to refine their character, deepen their strength, and sharpen their vision. They believe that there is no wasted experience. Every hardship adds something valuable to their journey if they respond with the right mindset. The mind determines whether a challenge becomes a burden or a blessing. High achievers choose to see their struggles as stepping stones toward greater things. When doors close, they trust that better ones will open. When plans fall apart, they use the pieces to build something new. This perspective allows them to stay calm under pressure and creative under chaos. They know that how they think in hard times determines how far they go in life. They remind themselves that storms don't last forever, but the lessons they bring can last a lifetime. A person with the right mindset doesn't run from challenges. They face them with faith and determination. They refuse to allow temporary setbacks to define their future. When life says no, they find another way. When others stop at failure, they learn from it and move forward. Every challenge becomes a classroom, every mistake becomes a mentor, and every delay becomes a moment of preparation. High achievers understand that perseverance is the bridge between trials and triumphs. They don't just endure difficulties, they grow through them. This mindset also helps them maintain peace in seasons of uncertainty. When others panic, they stay steady because they have trained their thoughts to focus on possibility instead of fear. They speak words of strength even when the situation looks weak. They believe that something good can emerge from something painful. This faith-based perspective creates resilience. It keeps them moving forward when circumstances try to pull them backward. The right mindset does not deny reality, it simply chooses to see beyond it. High achievers have learned to transform every mountain into a platform. The same challenges that were meant to stop them become the very reasons for their success. They know that diamonds are formed under pressure and that purpose often reveals itself through pain. This belief empowers them to keep climbing when others quit halfway. They do not waste time complaining about obstacles. They use them as opportunities to rise higher. Their mindset is their compass. It points them toward growth, no matter how difficult the terrain becomes. When faced with challenges, the average person asks for an easier path, but the high achiever asks for a stronger mindset. They understand that the real victory is not in avoiding problems, but in mastering the attitude that conquers them. Every great life story is written through moments of resistance that were turned into stepping stones. The right mindset transforms wounds into wisdom, setbacks into strength, and challenges into the foundation for future success.